Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, I'll be doing a role play, and yes, I know it's been quite a while since I did a role play for you guys. And what I'll be doing is getting into a combination of toxic dynamics between a parent and their adult child that are going to be really focused on enmeshment and codependency. So that's the main focus in this video. I recently did a video on a classically codependent mother who's married to her toxic husband, and you guys can check out that video over here, and I'll also have the link in the description of the video. And I say classically codependent in that video because it's rooted in a marriage paradigm of the aggressor and codependent, like from my 7 types of toxic family systems, where the father in that video is the aggressor and the mother is the codependent, or AKA enabler. And that dynamic happens in all types of relationships. I don't mean to present that in just sort of the traditional male-female kind of thing. All types of genders, all types of relationships can exhibit that dysfunctional dynamic. So that is just one type of how codependency can manifest in a dysfunctional family system. But it also happens between parents and their children, which is really what this video is about. Codependency is confusing. It's like, I look at it like a big umbrella term that can mean many different types of sort of psych issues. And some examples of those is codependency can mean hiding our real emotions from others. Codependency can mean being unable to say no or to express preferences. Codependency can also be like running coverage for someone else's dysfunctional behavior or covering it up for them. And codependency can also mean that our emotions and our self-worth are dependent upon the approval from somebody else. And codependency can also mean that we wait for others to change without really taking any action. We don't set boundaries, we don't bring things up, and we don't leave the relationship. And related to this video, codependency between parents and children can look like crossing boundaries or having loose boundaries about the family roles, like who is the parent, who is the child. And that leads to compromising ourselves, and we make those family relationships messy. Like who is parenting, or there's overstepping or encouraging for the children to act as like surrogate spouses. And by messy, I mean that it's hard to have respect and accountability and autonomy between the parent and the child if we have that type of codependency going on. When the codependency is between a parent and the child, or the adult child in this case in the video, is that the abuse is centered around this breach of boundaries, which the responsibility of all that falls on the parent because they're the one teaching the crossing of the boundaries, or teaching the enabling, or teaching the enmeshment. You'll see what I mean as we get into the role play. So if you're new to me or new to the channel, welcome. If you like this video, hit some buttons at the end you can't miss with any of the buttons. And if you find that these videos are helpful to your recovery, you can consider supporting the work that goes into these videos over at my Patreon. And I do not have any third-party sponsorships on this channel at all because I find that they would muck things up for you guys as the viewer. You can also check out my website if you're interested in doing some childhood trauma coursework. You can find that there. You can also get in touch with me or shoot me an email through the website, or simply you can connect with me through my Instagram or through my Facebook, and all the links that I just mentioned will be in the description of the video. So here we go, the scenario in this video is between a codependent mother and her daughter. The daughter is getting married, and the mother is manipulatively asking for her to add the mother's problematic ex to the guest list. The mother supposedly broke up with this problematic ex 3 months ago, and you'll see how it plays out. And also, guys, please don't leave comments like, I would never have this conversation with my mother in the first place, blah, 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 blah. Good for you that you don't have that going on or you recovered about it, but this video is for people who are very much in that dynamic, or they're processing stuff from that dynamic, and it just comes across as judgment in those comments. So also, I'm trying to highlight a lot of toxic family concepts in this video, so keep your clinical eye out for the following concepts: codependency, parentification, triangulation, emotional incest or surrogate spouse stuff, enmeshment, and manipulation. So, all right, I've talked enough. Let me just roll the role play and you'll see what I mean. Hey, I need to ask you something. Yeah, sure. You okay? Yeah, so I love the seating arrangements, and we've booked a cottage for the weekend. And I love the spot you picked out for the ceremony. I'm so excited. I know, me too. Tim's mom just sent me the sweetest text about the spot and the setting. That spot was so beautiful, you know? I showed the pics to Andy and he was blown away. Andy? You shared those pics with Andy? Mom, you're talking with him again? You ended it with him 4 months ago. Well, honey, that's what I meant by we. He's going in halves with me on the cottage, and he wanted to respectfully ask if he could be present in any way at your wedding. Mom, you're back together? After everything he did in February? I know what you're gonna say, but he's being really sweet. And he said respectfully. He respectfully wants you to consider him being at the wedding. But he says he totally understands if you don't want that. And he'll just go hiking while we do the ceremony. But if not, you know, maybe you could let me leave early before the end of the reception. He's got friends up here that are only around that night, and he doesn't like it when he hosts things alone. You won't stay for the whole wedding, Mom? Oh, honey, I'm only asking you, and this is entirely up to you. I'm totally here for you, and this is your day, so whatever you say goes. I just don't want him to feel left out. I told him I would try to make the other get-together happen. Mom, I thought you said you were done with him. Tim and I dropped everything and drove down there and moved you out, and it took you weeks for you to finally tell him that you were done. I know, baby, I'm sorry, but he went to counseling, and I didn't want to upset you, but he has started apologizing to me a few weeks later, and I didn't want you to be mad at me again. Especially when you're planning a wedding, I wasn't going to do that to you. Who would I be if I did? He started therapy? Yes, well, you know, he stopped now, but things are so amazing for us. He's like a totally different person. And the makeup sex was just incredible. You know what it's like after maybe like a terrible fight with Tim, right? It makes the whole thing worth it, right? I guess I know what you mean, yeah. But I wanted to ask you about that book you read, the one you kept telling me about when I was getting ready to break up with him. You know that stuff so well. The one about not taking people's stuff on? No, that wasn't the one. The one about how to get someone to acknowledge what you're feeling. Do you mean the I statements one? Yes. How do I do that with him? Well, I love practicing it, Mom. All you do is you keep reiterating, I feel or I think, instead of arguing or just going along with what he wants. God, I need to do that. What do I do when he goes silent, like when he's mad and he doesn't talk to me for hours? Well, you know, I just saw this amazing Instagram post about it, and I'll send it to you. It's about that. That's called stonewalling. And it's more about them than actually anything that you actually did. Okay, but what do I say to him? Well, you could say, I feel like I'm being punished when you don't talk to me. God, that's so simple. I love it. So then he'll start talking to me again? Well, you can't know that, Mom. It's like, you know, I think if he crosses a boundary, like punishing you with silence, then you have to tell him it's a boundary for you and he can't do that to you. If he doesn't respect that, then you have to make a different choice about the relationship. You're so amazing. So I can choose to not talk either. So honey, it would mean a lot to him if you would maybe just allow him a seat at the wedding. If not, I totally get it, but maybe if you could tell your father for me that the guy I'm with couldn't make it. I just don't want him to know that I don't have anyone for this special day. Why can't you tell him, Mom? Well, I think, you know, it's just gonna look bad and it's gonna look like I don't have it together. His wife will be there and I'm sure she'll notice I'm alone. Please. Mom, that's really not that big deal, you know? Oh, come on. You can just text him that my boyfriend got caught up at work and can't make up. Make up something about, like, why you're telling him. Maybe something about catering. I don't know. Mom, fine. Just come with Andy. You know, I don't want to make something up and send a weird random text to Dad about you. Please don't let him think that I'm ready to talk about February. I can't get into that tomorrow. You're so amazing. I'm so happy for you, and Annie's going to be so relieved that you're okay with him and you want him there. I have to go tell him, I love you, can't wait to see you in your dress. Hey, honey, I need to tell you something. Yeah, sure. Are you okay? Yes. Well, first, I love the seating arrangements, and I booked a cottage for the weekend. And I love the spot you picked out for the ceremony. I'm so excited. I know, me too. Tim's mom just sent me the sweetest text about the spot and the setting. That spot was so beautiful. I was totally blown away. Well, Mom, what's the thing you need to tell me? Well, it's something that I don't mean to bring up with you when you're getting ready to have the biggest day of your life, but I have to get this off my chest because I feel like I let you down. After I broke up with Andy and you helped me so much with it, I broke down and started texting him again for about a week after, and I didn't tell you about that. Mom, you're not back together with him, are you? God, no. He started with this same old bullshit over text, and then at that point I knew I was totally clear to me that leaving him was the right thing to do. I just felt guilty about hiding that from you after everything you did to help me through that. Oh, Mom, thank God. That's okay, I'm really glad you told me, though. Also, honey, I'm in counseling now, and I tell them about how you took care of me so much through that, and they're challenging me to fix my relationship with you, and that involves honesty about something else. What's that, Mom? Well, they pointed out that I'm ashamed that you have helped me more than I've helped you. During the divorce, I would run to you for help, and you were only 12. Then with every relationship after, you would try to get me to pick better guys, but I was in la la land, and you just kept trying. It's like I was a boy-crazy teenage daughter, and you were the mom. I can't believe how honest you're being with me right now, Mom. That's true. I was doing that for you. I'm so sorry, honey. And there's also a couple of other things that I need to have better boundaries about. And if this is too much, we can totally do this after the honeymoon. No, Mom, I'm good. We need to have this conversation, and I'm proud of you for doing this. There you go again. It's like you're the mom again. Well, I need to stop telling you about my problems with men. And I need to stop asking you to talk to your father on my behalf. I've put you in the middle way too many times, and I do that because I can't handle doing it myself, and that has to stop. I've used you, and I've treated you like a friend when I should have been parenting about that you're still our child. Mom, I'm blown away. So I need something from you in this. What's that? Well, I need you to stop giving me advice, because I'm too quick to take it, and you're like my little therapist, and that isn't good for you. You've put so much time and energy into getting me to break up with Andy when I needed that kind of support from a friend or a therapist. That's damaging to you because you put your life on pause when I should have been encouraging you to just live your life and not to get your dramatic teenage mom to be an adult. I don't know what to say, but yeah, I will stop doing that. My job right now is to rebuild your trust in me and show up for you differently. Mom, I'm in shock, but thank you so much. I really needed to hear this. And I'm so happy where you are. I love you. I love you too. Hey, I need to ask you something. Yeah, sure. Are you okay? So I love the seating arrangements, and we booked a cottage for the weekend. And I love that spot you picked out for the ceremony. I'm so excited for you. I know, me too. Tim's mom just sent me the sweetest text about the spot and the setting. That spot was so beautiful. I showed the pics you sent to Andy, and even he was blown away. Andy? You shared those pics with Andy? Mom, you're not talking to him, are you? You ended it with him 4 months ago. Well, honey, that's what I meant by we. He's going in on halves with the cottage, and, he wanted to respectfully ask you if he could be around for your wedding. Mom, you're back together? After everything he did in February and how he spoke to me? I know what you're going to say, but he's being so sweet, and he said respectfully. He respectfully wants you to consider him being around for the wedding, honey, and he's totally understands if you don't want that. And he'll just go hiking while we do the ceremony. But if not, honey, maybe you could let me leave early at the end of the reception. And he has friends up here that are only around for one night, and he hates hosting stuff like that alone. Mom, I'm not doing this with you. I spent a lot of time and energy trying to help you break up with him, and that was a mistake if he just went right back into it. And respectfully doesn't mean shit, Mom, after what he said to me and Tim. Well, honey, you don't have to be mean. This is really hard for me, and you could have just said, Mom, no. Look. You're asking me to include him in my wedding, which is a total mind F. After allowing me to take care of you and support you through that breakup. At least be honest with me and say you got back together instead of dancing around some huge elephant and like trying to use a Jedi mind trick on me to forget what happened back in February and what that was like for all of us. Did you think you could just casually drop this and think I'd forgotten? That's insane. Tim and I took you in for a month. You're being manipulative by not being real about this. Okay, fine. You know, I shouldn't have asked. I know I'm awful for you for asking, but he went to therapy and he's been so amazing, but you don't have to have him there if you don't want. That's still asking me, Mom. You're just now doing it with guilt. You still don't get what you're asking me. I'm sorry, I really am. You know, maybe you can tell me about a good self-help book that I can talk better with you. No, I'm not. Google it. Don't ask me to teach you to be a better mom. You're still using me in that way. I know, I get it. I'm sorry, but, you know, okay, just forget everything. But one thing, I need you to let your father know that I'm coming alone. Just tell him that my boyfriend couldn't get out of work or something. Nope, I'm not doing that either, Mom. You're an adult, and I'm not doing your dirty work for you. Honey, what happened to us? You used to really get me, and we used to just laugh, and we used to have so much to share, and... Mom, get a dog or a friend or a therapist. I'm your daughter, but I'm sick of being your parent. Look, he's not allowed to the wedding, and you have to know that your choices are going to affect our relationship. I gotta go. So before I go, I want to talk about what the daughter might struggle with from having a parent like this. That dynamic between them started in childhood, like with, you know, like the divorce stuff, and it carries into adulthood. It's not new for them. It's not new for the daughter. As an adult child with a mother like this, they will most likely struggle with any of the following issues. They may struggle with being a caretaker. They may struggle in only relating to others as a helper, fixer, healer, and they may not know how to relate to people on another level without that kind of energy going on. Friends, lovers, whatever. They might really get caught up in trying to change others, like trying to get their partners into therapy, trying to get people to be better people. I mean, I know that that's not always bad, but there's an energy for this person behind it. And it's different than just accepting people or picking healthier people to have a community with. And it's like this person is going to struggle with taking on people as projects when that's not going to be good for them. They might really pick immature partners and not catch the dysfunction up front. They might overshare, or they might really get triggered around gossip as an opposite response to a certain type of intimacy with the mom. They may want intimate and intense connections with others instead of getting to know people slowly because of that boundary crossing with the mom. They may also struggle with catching BS from people up front, like how the mother was being manipulative about Andy or the father. The daughter was missing some of that stuff, especially around Andy. So I want to leave you guys with some tangible recovery ideas and recommendations for some growth on your way on a path out of this stuff. As always, finding therapy or a trauma life coach or some kind of person who gets this stuff is going to be really helpful to your recovery if you can swing it, if you can manage it, if you can find it. I get it that it's loaded, and videos are great for insight like this, but that you might need someone for assistance out of this. And also, it's going to take a lot of work to let go of people who need helping. There's plenty of people who need helping in the world, but sometimes you got to take a pause from it. A child like this was set up to be so into somebody else's mess that it's comfortable for them. And there's going to be a lot of work to do around codependency and boundaries will most likely be needed in your recovery. Letting people fail in ways, I know that sounds mean, is like that's going to be a sign of growth. And the work is going to be about holding a parent like this accountable for the parenting failures and the dynamics that they set up. So I really want to be sort of like emphasis on that. A journal topic around this issue could be write out 3 examples in your present life where you struggle with the things that I just listed that the daughter might struggle with, and who it happens with: friends, partners, bosses, still maybe even people in your family at the moment. And those 3 specific examples of people pleasing, trying to get others to get it, not challenging someone because there's a special codependent bond between the two of you, and you're giving in to the things that you need to bring up because of that relationship, that kind of a thing. And here are some reflective questions to make the connection between the childhood trauma and your present life, to get to thinking about those correlations between our past and our present. Some reflective questions like, do you seek out deep, intimate connections way too fast? What is the timeline of that, or what is the pattern of that? Like, where does it get you? Like a first date giving way too many big details and wanting the same. How could that energy be related to what you went through in growing up or how you were raised in childhood? This is kind of, hope you don't take this the wrong way, but another reflective question is, are you kind of nosy? Do you want to know the dirt that people are experiencing, like with a coworker? For that boundary crossing, do you want to know about that stuff, and how could that be related to your family or the origin of your trauma? We can even be codependent with our sort of parents as well as our siblings, and we want to know everything. Do you have an urge to change people or to make them better people? Do you take on people as projects? How does that go for you? Where does that get you? How could that be related to your family or your childhood trauma of origin? And lastly is, do you make excuses for others, like the mother in this video, when they don't show up for you? How could that be related to your family or the origin of your trauma? So, I hope the video was helpful to you guys. You can stick around I'll do a clinical analysis on this video in the coming weeks, highlighting a lot of this stuff. And as always, guys, I hope the video was helpful, and may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be joyous. I will see you guys next time. Take care.